No one was more excited than me this weekend, watching the fittest on earth doing what they do best at the ROGUE Invitationals. Since this year's CrossFit Games turned out the way it did, this was a great opportunity to watch the real battle between Tia-Clair Toomey-R and Laura Horvath for the top spot at the podium. I also believe that many of us would like to see how James Sprigg, the guy who won the CrossFit Games this year, unexpectedly stood on the leaderboard when it was business as usual. He definitely had something to prove this weekend. ROGUE Invitationals is the second largest competition in the CrossFit community, and it has been a part of the season since 2019. This year it took place in Aberdeen, Scotland, and it was also the first time that such a big competition took place in Europe. 15 women and 15 men among the top names get an invite. And then there's also 5 spots in each division where athletes have a chance to qualify online. In this video, I thought I would share my top 5 highlights from the weekend. It definitely looked like Jeff Adler was going to start the weekend with an event win, since he had a comfortable lead with 10 seconds for the late part of event 1, which consisted of 10 rounds of sandbag carry with sandbags in different shapes and sizes and weights, and 400-meter run. But Ricky Gerard has proven many times that sprints are one of his biggest strengths, not least at the games this year. And on the last sprint to the finish line, he overtook Adler by 0.2 of a second. These sprints to the finish line was something that was crucial many times during the weekend. And we got to see many tight races on the male side, where there was close competition. In event 3, Jeff Adler looked a bit confused after he finished his first set of 8 wall walks complexes, where one complex included 1 wall walk and 2 strict wall-facing handstand push-ups. I guess he thought everyone else was a bit slow. The complexes were combined with heavy back squats, not a problem for most of the athletes, but Danielle Brandon and the community favorite Hayley Adams struggled. Event 4 looked terrible. It was such a nicer feeling watching it from the couch than performing it oneself. It was a shipper that consisted of a buy-in with 1K row, followed by 30 heavy thrusters, and then 20 log muscle-ups for the women, or 30 for the men, 30 more heavy thrusters, and lastly a buyout of 1K row. The log muscle-up has appeared at the ROGUE Invitationals prior, and it was definitely showable that some athletes had the experience, and that some of them did it for the very first time. Never have one seen so many chicken wings among elite athletes, while for instance Ariel Lowen and BKG looked like they had routine. Also worth mentioning when talking about this event is Emma Tall sprinting on the rower to finish the event inside the time cap. So close, she misses out by just 0.1 of a second. Of course my favorite athlete since she's a fellow Swede. Who doesn't love a sprint event where anything can happen? Event 6 was the duel that consisted of 5 up and overs, sled push and power stair steps at 300 pounds or 136 kilograms for the men and 225 pounds or 102 kilograms for the women. On the female side it was a tight race where Laura Horvath won the event and Emma Tall placed second, while Tia-Clair Toomey got her worst placement, finishing 8th. Also worth showing in this event is Danielle Brandon's amazing touch-and-go reps on the up and overs. They got to change the standards in the event for the men's 3rd round due to several foot injuries, and then switch the up and overs to burpee get-overs. Guy Malheiros, with his insane explosiveness, still won the event easily on the male side, while Brent Fikowski placed second. Gabby Migala, who was a podium contender, unfortunately had to withdraw from the competition during this event due to the foot injury. And the case was the same for Henrik Heppelainen. Some people struggled when the lateral pegboard was introduced for the first time in event 8, combined with ski erg and GHD sit-ups. Others had no problem. Laura, with her climbing background, probably felt like it was a warm-up. And apparently Brent Fikowski had been practicing this new movement for years in case it would appear. Nice for him to be able to show off, since ROGUE Invitationals was his last CrossFit event before retiring from competition. All in all, such a nice competition, and so inspiring to watch the top athletes take the competition floor again. James Sprigg finished in 11th place, so he's perhaps a bit more humble after this experience. It was Tia-Clair Toomey who won on the female side with 5 event wins, and Laura Horvath in second with 4 event wins. When Gabby Megala had to withdraw, it was Ariel Lowen who took third. On the male side, Jeff Adler became this year's champion, well deserved after deciding to not compete at the CrossFit Games this year. Brent Fikowski took second, also nice for him to finish on the podium before retiring. And Jason Hopper took third place after a real tight race, which was decided in the last event. That was it for this video with my top 5 moments from the ROGUE Invitationals. Remember that consistency is key to all worthwhile things in life, not least when it comes to training.